Hi everyone, Josh here. I got a different topic today. Bungie. Bungie is the one that created the original Halo game. There was two studios, one over here and a secret project. They were making Halo. They were making a real-time strategy game. They spent years of development, and it turned into a real-time strategy game into a third-person shooter. They were revealing their game to the world on the Macintosh. They played the demo and it got hype so out of control that it became gaming history. The hype was unreal for this new Halo game, but then something bad happened. The studio catches on fire. All the hard work was for nothing. Microsoft was so impressed of what they were creating that they bought Bungie and let their main platform be on Xbox, the first game on Xbox. It released, and it was the most revolutionary game in the whole entire gaming industry. Hence the name Halo Combat Evolved. Halo Combat Evolved was going to be the first and final Halo game. But then something interesting happened. It was so popular that they decided to make a sequel, Halo 2. They were so ambitious with Halo 2 that was going to have Xbox Live, open environments. Heck, it was going to be the most ambitious game of all time. But then there was a tight deadline and hellish development. They had to work hours upon hours and days to get this game done. They even had to sleep in their own offices. They had to cut a lot of features because of how ambitious this was. There wasn't plans to make a Halo 3, but and Halo 2 was originally going to be Halo 2 and 3, but Halo 3 story that was going to be in Halo 2 had to be scrapped. So what they did was condense the game and make as many cuts as they can to make the deadline. Halo 2 released to the world, and it made the most money out of any movie ever. This hype was so out of control that basically everyone knew about Halo, and Xbox Live was the first in the industry. Then Halo 3 came. This was the most hyped game of all time. Finish the fight. Their story that they were going to continue was Halo 3. It was so community based and so wild with the hype. People were holding the game like, ah! I mean, even you and your mother knew about Halo at that point, even if you never played it before. The hype was so unreal that it was the most hyped thing in the industry. Halo 3 came out, and it was the best game of all time. Then they made a side project called Halo 3 ODST. Originally, it was going to be Halo 3 DLC, but then they made it into a $60 game. It was a short and ODST game full of mystery and wonder. Then Halo Reach came out, and this was their final game in the series. It was really good at the time, but for others it was obviously divisive with the new abilities and stuff. But besides that, it was the best game of all time, and it was their send-off to the industry. Here comes the part that gets really bad. Bungie left Halo. And this is where things get really, really dark. They made Destiny. They had this game in the pipeline for years. The hype was unreal. It was going to have open environments, the best story in the series, and content-rich content. But then there was a red flag. Marty O'Donnell made the Halo music and the Destiny music. But then they just straight up fired him and replaced the music entirely. That caused an industry shakeup so bad that Marty O'Donnell did a lawsuit against Bungie for what they did about firing him. And that was only one red flag. I was going to play this game non-stop, but when I tried out the game, something was very wrong. It was very linear. It had robotic dialogue and story, and the story was so bare bones, it didn't even feel like a story. It was awful. I didn't even like the gameplay. I mean, Destiny 1 became this big open environment with storytelling and stuff to a linear shooter with a non-existent story, robotic dialogue, and just not that good. They even cut content that enforced it on DLC. And thing is, Activision bought Bungie too, so that was a red flag too. I tried giving Bungie and Destiny a chance, but I just was never interested. The disappointment was so bad that it just didn't feel like the same Bungie. This was not the same Bungie from Halo. Old Bungie was gone. Anyways, they did expansion after expansion after expansion with overpriced DLC. And it was crazy. Then they made Destiny 2. It seemed very promising, but I wasn't going to take that chance I did on Bungie on Destiny 1. Destiny 2 had the best story and the best gameplay. It was really good. They did expansions, but then they started to get really shady. They added microtransactions, battle passes. I mean, it just got really bad. They started adding content with this 10-year plan, and they did something really shady. With the content they added over time, they got rid of the first game content with Destiny 2. So anyone that wanted to play the Destiny 2 for the first time couldn't play the content that was there day one because they put in the vault. And they just kept on adding more monetization and stuff like that, like paywalling raids, campaign, multiplayer. I mean, the monetization was so crazy. It was the worst in the industry. Fast forward for today, Destiny just lost a whole bunch of employees. I know it's shocking to all of you, but honestly, Bungie really had this coming. I mean, with the crap fest when it comes to Bungie and how they treated their fans and their service, I mean, eventually karma was going to eventually bite Bungie in the butt. Pretty much Bungie is already dead at this point. I mean, Bungie's dead. The old Bungie died with Halo, and pretty much now Bungie has died too. This was a promising studio that made Halo, was the well-known company that made Halo, and everything that was good turned into the most crappiest company in the industry. I mean, their layoffs was really big. All their head developers just got fired out of the blue. They're laid off. Old Bungie is gone. They're completely gone now. And eventually, I'm guessing that Destiny is going to get shut down. They were going to make Marathon, but I imagine that they were just going to monetize it to hell, just like Destiny. But the biggest mistake that they made was making Destiny 2 a 10-year service. And that was probably the worst decision in the gaming industry, in gaming as a whole. Destiny is no more. Let's remember Destiny of what they were instead of what they became.